Rodney Harrison, now a commentator at NBC, said Mac Jones did everything that Coach Belichick and Josh McDaniels wanted him to do. He's the perfect quarterback for this system. This is the right guy for the job. It's a no-brainer to me. That's what he says. Let's see what our crew says. Swagoo, is it a no-brainer to you who the starting quarterback of the New England Patriots should be?
I wish it was a no-brainer, but I still think it's Mac Jones, and it should be. The bottom line is this, G. Like, Cam Newton had an upper hand because I think Bill Belichick has an affinity for him. I even believe Bill Belichick wanted to see Cam have the moments that he wanted him to have to take over this job, but he just didn't. And the reality of it is, as much as I see Cam have success personally, when you look at competitions and when you look at preseason, this is what they're for. And the bottom line is Mac Jones has outperformed Cam Newton. And yeah, Cam didn't do anything to mess himself up, but he didn't do anything to separate himself either. And when you think about a rookie coming in this particular situation, the New England Patriots draft an offensive player in umpteen years, and then this kid performs like this. And I was screaming it before the draft. Do not take Mac Jones third San Francisco, and the ideal destination would be the New England Patriots. And you know why? Because Mac Jones is doing the same thing he was doing in college. He's surrounded by the same type of guys, the same type of system, and everybody knew prior to that draft that Mac Jones was a great processor. He understood what he was walking into. They talked about how fast he could grasp the system. And look, he waited his time at Alabama, and now he's matured. He's a mature enough guy, a mature enough kid, basically, to come in and take this job and not mess it up. And that's what Bill Belichick wants. He wants you to not mess it up. He's not looking for the next Patrick Mahomes.
So you think he's ready to go to the rookie. How about you, Booger? Are you ready to turn the page and go to Mac Jones?
Well, absolutely, because I think when you look at how Josh McDaniels and Bill Belichick want to play offense, it's everything that Mac Jones does well. Rhythm, timing, throwing the ball, understanding how and where to go with the football, making quick decisions. He is as advertised when you and I sat on that desk, Greeny, at the draft. We talked about what Mac Jones was, what could he be, and what's his potential. And I think we're seeing it right now. And Greeny, Cam Newton is just too inconsistent. Yes, I understand he's battled back. He's came back from COVID where he looks really good now throughout the preseason. But can we trust Cam Newton throughout the season to get rid of the ball, to be accurate, to throw the football on time? I don't. I've said it before. I think the 2015 MVP Cam Newton is an anomaly, and the guy that we've seen most is a guy who's inaccurate, a guy who struggles throwing the football with accuracy and timing, and I think Mac Jones does all of that well. And if you're Josh McDaniels in the back of your mind, all you're saying is he's not Tom Brady, but he can do some of the same things with rhythm, timing, getting the ball out to the right person. The number one thing a quarterback must do, guys, he must be accurate, he must make good decisions. Mac Jones does both of those, Cam Newton does not. This is an easy decision for me.
Well, so we're waiting to hear what Bill Belichick decides to do this morning. What's the reporting coming out of there? What are we hearing?
That it's not an easy decision, that they're actually wrestling with it, but that says more about Mac Jones' performance than Cam Newton's.
Absolutely.
And talking to people close to this situation, it sounds like the building and the players would be fine with whatever. They really love and have been impressed with Mac Jones, but they love Newton too, and he's performed well as well. The thing he hasn't done, to Swagoo's point, is widen the gap between himself and the rookie. And as a result of that, as a result of the way Mac Jones has played, they have a decision to make in New England on who's going to start week one. Everybody knows it's going to be Mac Jones eventually. They picked him in the first round. They weren't picking him just in case. He's going to be their quarterback. The question is when and whether Cam gets a start or two at the beginning of the season. That's what they're wrestling with.
Go ahead, Marcus.
Hey, Grass, here's the thing I'll throw in. Why did they draft Mac Jones? Because, like, they saw Cam Newton last year, and so they saw the inconsistencies of Cam. Like, Cam is not an old quarterback. Cam, if he's healthy, he can still have several years left in his career. Why did the Patriots go out and feel like they needed a franchise quarterback? It's because of the inconsistencies of Cam Newton. I don't trust those inconsistencies to be fixed just because he's a year removed from COVID. That's the reason I say this is an easy decision. Trust your gut instincts on why you went and got the guy in the first place.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.